It is October and it has finally cooled down in Japan a little bit, especially in Kumamoto where I live. We have almost summer temperatures throughout mid to end of October, and then finally in the end of October usually the temperature drops, and that has just happened. So I am in the midst of koromogae. Koromogae is Japanese and you could translate it as wardrobe interchange. It is basically when you change your wardrobe from winter to summer, or what I'm doing right now, from summer to winter wardrobe. Koromogae is usually set somewhere in April and somewhere in October. I live in a very hot place, so my koromogae for summer wardrobe actually happens way earlier in March. And yeah, October is quite a good time to do koromogae. And I thought it would be interesting for you to follow me along during my koromogae. I'm probably not gonna finish it completely off, but there is a lot of stuff involved, talking about cleaning and organizing a kimono closet. And yeah, it's a big part of a kimono life. And this is something that should be shared. Today's a Monday, and I know that in my vlog I did earlier this year, I said that Mondays are like my Fridays because I usually have a day off on Tuesday. In the past few months, I got so lucky with having even more students who book lessons with me, and I got so busy that I started to take an actual weekend for me, which means 2 days where you can book lessons with me, and this is now Monday and Tuesday. So today we're starting this vlog on a Monday, and I don't really want to show it, but I'm gonna. My Japanese room right now is a hot mess. I'm gonna show you. Oh yeah, so I have some laundry lying there. That's my husband's stuff. And I have a bunch of new tatoshi that I'm gonna put into use. I purchased like 60 new tatoshi. And then I have a few kimonos hanging there that I have washed. I have washed them because they're rami, and I will have to iron them and then put back into some paper casings, and then they go back into my closet. So I think today we'll start off with just, first of all, cleaning this room. And I actually did a closet purge on Patreon because I have so many old kimono I don't wear, and koromogae is usually the time when you find out, oh, I haven't worn this kimono in ages, or I haven't worn this kimono at all, not even once. And I threw some of them out, and I still have to pack one of them up and send it, and one of them has to go into cleaning because the person who bought it said they want to have it cleaned, which I'm probably not going to do today because my to-do list of today is endless and I don't think I will be able to finish it off. マジかよ。I'm not gonna bore you with the details, but there was a freaking baby cockroach in the midst of that kimono. And oh my gosh, it was the one that escaped us the other day when we found it in the living room. No worries, cockroaches are in Japan so normal. You kind of have to live with them and you kind of have to eliminate them as soon as you find them. They're around all the time, but just an instance, I'm gonna clean that kimono. It's luckily wool, and I'm gonna clean it. Wool kimono are kind of, you can kind of wash them. I'm definitely gonna wash that right now, and I'm gonna check all the other stuff that was living here in this room to make sure that this stupid cockroach, or in case I find another cockroach here. I've never found a cockroach between clothing, so this is now, oh my gosh. Okay, let me clean that kimono right away. This is so disgusting. So the kimono is definitely cleaned now. I'm probably even gonna hang it outside because the sun is coming out, and I think the kimono could need some outside air. Yeah, I'm probably gonna hang it outside in the shade and have it dried there. I also messaged Annie and asked if she still wants that kimono. So I'm waiting for a reply now, and then we'll see what will happen with this one. Okay, so I'm gonna hang this out and I'm gonna vacuum this place, and then I get some lunch. And then let's finally do some sewing. It took a tiny bit longer than I had planned, but I found out that I had planned what I'm gonna make for that one video, but I didn't really plan out how I would use my fabric. So that took a while actually to figure out. But I did, and I finished the first project. Isn't it cute? Hopefully you already saw this video. We'll see. I don't know when those videos will go up in order, but they're planned to go up. I've also already taken photos for Instagram for today's outfit, so I can post today because I forgot to post yesterday. So the sun is about to set, which you probably can tell that I have this nice sunset lighting on me right now. And usually my videos, when they are tutorials or like sewing videos, I try to always sew with sunlight and have the best lighting I can have. So this video is finished. Anyway, Annie messaged me back and she said, oh no, the cockroach was trying to come to Germany. But she said when it's cleaned, it's fine. I can still send the kimono to her. I'm happy. I actually cleaned it twice to actually send it to her. But anyway, okay, so let's go for a walk and then get changed and get some things done. You might have noticed I'm wearing my getter. Did I say it right? I do think so. Because when you go for a walk, you should actually wear getter, not zori, because you're definitely gonna destroy your zori, and wear some more sturdy getter. So I got home and already washed two kimono. They're now in the washing machine to spin, and I'm gonna hang them up as soon as they're done. And now I think it's already 6:30, and my husband is not coming home before 9 p.m. because he's working on a big work project recently, and it's getting late every day. So I'm probably gonna have some dinner by myself. Nothing special, I'm probably not gonna cook. And then I'm gonna iron the 2 kimonos that you saw this morning. Oh yeah, and because I got changed, you see that the kimono I wore actually yesterday is now here in the Japanese room. I will have to fold that away and store it properly as it's supposed to be. Yeah, so nothing special so far, nothing special anymore. So I'm probably gonna get some footage of me ironing and playing with Franzel, and that is basically my day. Good morning. I will have to go to venture out to the city today and get my husband's birthday present. You can see I still have the kimonos that I've ironed yesterday hanging behind me because I ironed them with steam, which means they were still moist. So I recommend to let them hang there for another night and then you can put them away. I also have cleaned one of my obi that is white. It's also 100% rami, so you can wash this, and it didn't have any embroidery or anything on it, so I just went ahead and washed it. Also, this beautiful obi is from the brand Torie. If I don't forget them, I will link them down below. I actually know the owner of this brand. He's also from Kimono, but now lives in Osaka, and his brand's principles is basically, first of all, also stuff for plus size. So all of their items also go for plus size people, and also easy to maintain. So they have a lot of stuff you can actually really clean at home. They also, of course, have 100% silk kimono you can't clean at home and you would rather give to a cleaner store. But a lot of stuff that I have from them is things that actually can really wash at home, and I love it. And this one is one of those because this is a white summer obi. This is the front pattern. When you fold it in the center on this bottom fold here, this is very often where summer obi or obi in general turn yellow first, and I haven't washed it ever, so I washed it and gave it a nice press yesterday, and now it looks like new. It has gotten way softer, so it's not 100% like new. So I'm gonna put this also into a new home because I also got a bunch of small Tatoshi. Again, I just bought them on Drunken. I bought 60 and one was about 100 yen. So that's about $1 or €1. Yes, this is how cheap you can get them here in Japan. Oh no, it is. And today I'm wearing a special kimono that I have never worn before because it just came back from the tailor. I had this so long in my closet because I actually wanted to sew this kimono by myself, but I really suck at pattern placement, so I wanted to take at least a lesson or two to make sure that the pattern placement is nice. And because this is a lined kimono, still not good at sewing lined kimono. That is why you still don't see a video like that on my channel. It's not that I can't do it, but it's not good enough to actually show anyone. So yeah, I in the end ended up to give this into tailoring. It is absolutely beautiful. And I will have to take out the basting first so I can wear this today. Also my orange kimono that I have sewed by myself, this one will have taken out the basting as well today. I left it in for a while so the kisekake and everything can, and the seams in general can settle, and I think it's good for now. When you leave them in too long, the basting thread is gonna cut into the fabric and you will have like a tiny dinge there that shows that there was the basting. So don't leave it in too long. And usually when you get a kimono from my tailor, you take it out actually right away because they have already pressed it nicely before they gave it to you. And when you make a kimono by yourself, if you wouldn't wear it, I would say you put the basting in, you have finished the whole garment, basting is in and everything, and then you put it under something heavy and let it there for a week or two, and after that you should take out the basting. I didn't really do this, as you might remember, because I was wearing this right away after I finished it. That was why I wore it with the basting on, and I got so many nasty comments about it because people just can't let go. After washing this and having it nicely pressed, I think everything is fine, so I can actually take the basting out. Okay, this took way too long. I was just like, but I like my obi musubi today. Wait, you can see it because I have to put the package in here. I should have hit the road like half an hour ago, but anyway. Isn't this outfit kind of cute? Okay, we seriously have to go. So I've just been to my old workplace. I was talking with one of my favorite people there for like an hour. And after that I went to the post office and got the coolest stamps for Patreons. And now I'm heading to the fabric store. Seriously, why didn't I even come to the city? My favorite fabric store was closed and I could basically do nothing that I actually had planned because I also forgot some important stuff that I actually would have had to do while going back home. We're back home. My favorite fabric store was closed and I went to another fabric store in the city. But I wanted to get lining for the fur coat I'm planning to make for this winter, and they didn't have a single piece of lining there. Anyway, so those plans are postponed, and I think I'm gonna get changed now. We're gonna get started with today's koromogae, because today I've actually planned to do a lot there in the closet. And before I forget, don't you think that my obijime just really matches really nicely with that kimono? It's not even an obijime, it's just shoelace. I found this in a 100 yen store, which means this was 2 of those were 100 yen. And this is even shoelace for kids. And I use this as a sambu himo. They work perfectly for obidome. This is, by the way, also not even an obidome, it's just a brooch. And I have this attachment that turns it into an obidome. I really like my outfit today. I actually don't even want to get changed, but today we're going to rearrange everything. And we're getting into winter mode, which means winter kimonos and autumn kimonos, and also later on spring kimonos have to be in an easy place to reach, and all my other kimonos go more to the top shelves. And I am actually extremely frustrated with this whole thing right now, because this year we didn't really have a normal summer. It was raining all the time and I had evacuation alert like all the time. This closet went from winter mode into evacuation mode, which means all my kimonos go onto the top shelves up there. And I have this shelf here on the bottom that is an absolute mess right now. That was the shelf I was using, so I just put kimonos and yukata in there that I wouldn't mind when they get destroyed by water or flooding. These kimono right now are absolutely not they're categorized, but they're not in their categories anymore, because usually when I put up my kimono, I start with the kimono I'm afraid I would lose the most. You know, I kind of have a priority list of favorite kimono that go up first. So I have to pull out all the tatoshi and put them back into order. And I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna do this here or in the Japanese room. But anyway, first of all, I have to take down yesterday's kimono and fold it up and put it into its home. And probably the kimono today will go on this hanger, but for now, because I want to use the space, I'm gonna hang them up in the Japanese room, and later they're gonna move in back here. That's a good idea, don't you think? I have a label system, as you can see. So yellow are mostly summer wardrobe. So when I put together my summer wardrobe, I just have to pull out all the yellow labels. These are my hitoi kimono that I wore, so they're actually nicely tidy and in a proper category. These are all my summer kimono I'm about to wash right now. I will have to go through all of those and see if I've washed all of that I've worn. These are araihari. This one super colorful kimono got into araihari. I'm probably going to talk about that tomorrow when I wash another kimono. We'll see. I'm going to talk about this. And this is a new kimono that I received for my birthday. It's also rami. You can tell I love rami kimono because I'm living in a hot place and rami is really, really nice and cool. I will have to put them onto my shelf for tamono for sewing them. And another thing I didn't really do is taking care of my winter juban, because usually when I switch from winter mode into summer mode, I clean or give my winter jubans into cleaning, and if I don't think they need any cleaning, I take off the haneri and clean the haneri, and I also put new haneri onto it. And for example, this juban here, this one was waiting all summer for me to actually do it. I already chose a haneri for it, and I've also taken the haneri off. And this juban also needs some ironing. This is the first juban I ever made it. This was my second wasai sewing project, and the stitches are awful. Like it's literally falling apart because the stitches are too loose, because I was not used to hand stitching. So this one actually would need some retailoring, but I want to wear it this year, and probably next year I'm gonna give it into cleaning and have an araihari done, and then I'm gonna retailor it. But anyway, I'm gonna start with this side of the closet, which are all the kimono. First of all, I'm gonna pull out the top shelves up there and organize them and put them into the shelf where I want them. So this side is looking good so far, actually. This side is still a hot mess. We're not gonna touch this today. But this side is looking good. But welcome to the hot mess. Probably might wonder what I'm using for my labels. I'm using these post-it tapes. They have 3 colors and they have the same glue on it like post-its, which means you can take them off super easily and tape them on again. They're so perfect. Good morning. I just came off my lesson with María this morning. I don't wear an obi yet because today we only focused on her bottom hem, which is very exciting for me because it means that we moved from beginner's lesson to advanced lessons, which also means we have, with the kimono dressing process, she is already used to it good enough that we can like tackle the tiny different things she might do wrong, and that's usually a lot of fun for me. Yeah, when you wonder how long this usually takes to move on, I would say usually about a year. For María today was her 10th or 11th lesson. And yeah, today I'm tying a ginza musubi. I'm talking like right into the camera microphone, I'm sorry. Today I'm tying a ginza musubi on the front. Last time I did it on the back. For ginza musubi I tie it on the front or on the back, usually according to the obi. When an obi is easy to tie on the back, I usually tie it on the back. And when an obi is tiny bit stiffer, I usually tie it on the front. I'm not sure if I like the yellow black obi thing I have going on today because it always reminds me of a bee. I love bees, no worries, but still. But I really wanted to wear this obi because you can see it has like various different vegetables and fruits on it. This one is a obi I got from Ichiroya before they closed down. Ichiroya was like a huge antique and recycles online store for kimono. They also shipped internationally, so they were actually quite popular and had to close down because of COVID. They also had a tiny brand that was called Kimono, and they just took like original antique designs of real obis and reprinted them. And I mean, that's so cool. So this was one of the obis. I got from them. I will have to go to the post office again because I forgot my Patreon letters to send out yesterday. I'm gonna do this today. And after that, I will have to go to a Daiso 100 yen store because I need to get a snap, like a magnetic snap for one of the tiny sewing projects of the video. Probably will see after this video. Oh, it's too hot in here. When I come back home, the first thing I'm gonna do is getting changed because I'm wearing a lined kimono. It's also shibori. It's so pretty, isn't it? Oh, I love shibori kimono. But it's just, this kimono is just too hot for today. Okay, so let's go. As promised, I got changed. And I want to hang up my kimono from today. So what I will have to do first is take this kimono down, fold it up and put it back into its casing, into the shelf, and then I can hang up today's kimono. Yes, I do this every single day. You should air out your every kimono you own after wearing it, so you have to wash it less, especially silk kimono, because you don't wash them at all or you give them into cleaning. I leave them hanging here usually for a day. Sometimes it's 2 when I have a day in between where I don't wear kimono, and then I usually put always the kimono down that is hanging here and put a new kimono onto my self-made kimono hanger. You might remember we have a video about making a kimono hanger, and I made this one out of wood. You could see me using the plastic hangers for hanging up laundry or washed kimono and yukata, but in my closet, because my closet is so nicely with 100% wood optic and whatever, I have this self-made hanger up every single day, and this is what I hang my stuff on. And yukata I wear is for now just on regular hangers. And you also probably know that I keep my jubon on hangers too. I want to make like jubon hangers so they don't hang like this on regular hangers. It's not best practice, but you know what, kimono stores do it too, so I do not really care. Okay, let me first tidy this stuff up, and then we're gonna do some jubon stuff. Okay, today's kimono is up. My kimono from yesterday is stored here, and now we're gonna go and do some haneri stuff. So I will take off the haneri of 3 jubon, and I'm probably gonna show you how to clean a haneri. And I will have to then sew new ones onto those 3 jubon plus onto 2 other jubon. And where's the other one from yesterday? Here it is. This one. Okay, it's time to wash some haneri. I have them all here. This one is silk. This one is not silk, so this is not gonna be a big problem, but ooh, nicely yellow. And I have this one. This is, yeah, it looks like silk too. Ooh. And I know that I always say don't wash silk, and it's actually only partly true. But when you want to wash silk, you have to wash it in a specific way. So no, don't wash your silk kimono as they are. What you would do for having your silk actually washed, not dry cleaned, washed, is that so-called araihari I'm always talking about. I don't know how often I already talked about it on this channel. And araihari is actually taking off all the seams of a kimono and put it back into the kimono both sides. Like this. This is an actual araihari. I'm looking for like Here, can you see this? This is where they put it back together. They stitch all of the layers back together, seriously, and put it into this bold shape. And then they put it onto a machine that spreads it out nicely. And they take actually a tawashi. It's like a Japanese sponge. It's what I use in my kitchen. And really brush it with it. And they also use even warm water. Because they're professionals, they of course change the water temperature according to the weave. So I would not really recommend to do this at home. And after that, they hang it up so it can shrink while it dries. And after that, they have this big steam press that will actually press it back into shape to reduce shrinkage if there was any. And then you would have to stitch this kimono back together, like what I will have to do with this one. And that is a daihari. And this is how kimonos get actually cleaned. And yes, in history, they did that at home. With han-eri, it's already an unsewn piece of cloth. It's already like, it is this piece of silk, and that's basically it. And that is why you can't just wash this as it is. I'm gonna use normal water and I'm gonna wash this, and then later I'm gonna use my iron to press this back into shape and reduce shrinkage. With white han-eri, this is super easy because they're white. You probably also know that silk tends to bleed. That is a reason why I've never cleaned this han-eri here, although I wore it so often. Can you see how dirty this is? And I would be willing to do this today just to prove a point and hope that it won't bleed. For now, I'm gonna first start with my 3 white ones that I know that I can clean them. And I'm again using my husband's stuff. This one here, it's called Eri Sode, collar and sleeves, and it's exactly for that yellow staining on collar and sleeves. And I'm also gonna use again my washing soap, but I already talked about this in my kimono cleaning guide. So I'm first gonna put this on to the stains. It's already coming off. I love this. This is so satisfying. So I couldn't find my microphone, so I'm sorry if the sound is crappy. So I started to also clean the black han-eri. And you can see the color didn't bleed, luckily. I can feel the shrinkage though. I can really literally feel how this shrinks together right now. It's gonna be a lot of ironing. But you can also see that the pigment, or some pigment, went to the water, turning kind of blackish here. So you should not leave this too long into the water. So I'm gonna rinse it right now. The other han-eri are packed in a washing net, the white han-eri. This were actually tubby. I also cleaned tubby today. Wait, these are also tubby. Where are my han-eri? These are my han-eri. So I have han-eri packed into a washing net, and I am gonna rinse this in the washing machine because I have lots of settings that I can play around with. And I'm gonna put it onto anai, but I'm probably not gonna put any more detergent into it, and then it goes straight into the spinning mode. For this one, I have planned that I am going to rinse this by hand like what I do with kimono, and then just put it into the spinning mode of my washing machine with the other colored haneri I haven't cleaned yet. And here are the haneri. They look really good. So happy. I'm kind of a tiny bit bummed that I didn't wash this earlier, because I was so convinced that this fabric, this pattern would bleed. So I have never washed this one. And it actually turned out fine. But now where are the dirty spots? Here. So these spots here are already so old, so you can't really get them out anymore. So yes, wash your haneri once a year. Good morning again. It's so messy in here again. Just finished off a wonderful lesson, and it was the second time with that student. She did such a great job. Wearing my beginner's lesson kimono. You probably might remember this one from my last kimono vlog, because it's actually where I bought this. And I'm using this for beginner's lessons because it's so see-through that you can exactly see what I'm doing inside. Although that kimono is fairly hard to dress because it doesn't keep shape at all. The color is always kind of it's just not a nice fabric to work with. Anyway, today is my last day that I have planned for this vlog. I hope I can finish off my kimono closet. I will now first get some breakfast, and after that I'm gonna get changed in a yukata. The reason why I wear yukata almost throughout the year is that my house has central heating, and like you wear a t-shirt inside the house even in winter, you can wear yukata inside my house in winter. When you've ever lived in a really old apartment in Japan, you know how cold it actually is there. That is why you layer kimono up. That is why you would wear several layers of undergarment and also several layers of kimono coats to just simply stay warm in your kimono. I don't need that. I actually would be way too hot in this. So I wear yukata at home. That is why I have a bunch of yukata that are also a tiny bit too short for me. I still can wear them nicely, but I wear them as home wear and actually work wear. For the obi, I mostly wear hiko obi only, for two simple reasons. Hiko obi is just a long piece of cloth. They are not heavy at all, so it takes a lot away from the heaviness of an obi. You could of course also wear hanhaba obi, but with hanhaba obi I would still have the feeling that I would have to make the obi knot look really nicely and neat. And with hiko obi, they're just a piece of cloth without any interfacing, so I do not really care how the outcome of my hiko obi is. I very often just tie a normal bow and wrap a tiny bit about it around the knot, and that's basically it. I have another lesson in 3 hours, and I want to finish this off in 3 hours. Today we are going to tackle this in here. It looks already quite awful, I think, because my obiage collection did grow, and what I'm going to do is I'm gonna pull out all my summer obiage and I'm going to iron them, and then I'm gonna put them into a tatoshi, and I'm gonna put them on top of my summer kimono. I have actually decided to give the 3 juban that I wear the most for already 5 years into cleaning, because now they just don't look good anymore, and they're gonna be on araihari and I'm gonna retailor them, because also some of the hems, especially the long one, the hem is completely damaged because it's wiping over the floor when I walk. So I will have to let out the uchiage and cut away the recent hem to fix that. The orange one is just already tired because it's also an antique juban, and I wanted to remake this anyway into my size because the collar opening is so tight. And the top one is one I was presented when I was still in the beginning of my kimono journey, so I probably wore this the most. It's also a very old one, so it has really big stains already you can't wash out anymore. I think I'm gonna give this a try to clean at home, because I have purchased some vintage books about kimono cleaning, because yes, in history this was done at home, especially pre-war, and I also heard even after the war in Kumamoto people still did araihari at home. So I think this one is perfect to give it a try, to hopefully get some practice so I can do some videos on that. So we'll see. Let's move on to this shelf that is wildly unorganized. These are the kimono I regard as homeware. This is what I wear daily at home, and there are some kimono mixed into this because I use them for summer lessons. And these are some obi I wear as homeware, and I decided that I want to put everything together in one shelf, obi and homeware kimono. In case you might wonder, on bottom here I have my hikizuri. This is how big they are. I've put them on a furoshiki, and I do not really have the space to store them nicely, because you can see they take up so much more space. I'm still looking for a nice ukon furoshiki. Ukon furoshiki is a furoshiki that is dyed with ginger, so it's all yellow all over, and that ukon actually has a insect repellent function, or what is the word I'm looking for? I don't know. And those are really pricey, that's why I haven't bought one yet. Like the real ukon some furoshiki, especially when you need them this big, they are really expensive. And on top of here I have like the only nagajuban that actually fits with those. That is actually a tiny bit too small for me, so this is the one that's lying here and waiting to be retailored into a good size. You can tell I'm not catching up with any of my sewing projects. Okay, so let's get all yukata out of this shelf. Now I'm really happy how this looks already. Oh, so happy with this. Okay, so you're gonna get a new tatoshi. You're probably gonna go into my closet purge pile, and then I'm gonna reorganize my coats. So my last lesson for today is about to happen, and I think this is a good part to finish off this vlog. You could probably see how much work actually goes into a koromogae, and the more kimono you have, the worse. Of course, I'm not completely finished. I will still have to wash my yukata through, because so far I've only washed 3 of them, and I will also have to bring these juban into cleaning. I also have 2 kimono I want to bring into Araihari, and I will have to retailor them. Also, haven't finished my last haneri. I spent like the last half hour to figure out which haneri I want on it. But besides that, it's actually really nice in here. I'm happy how clean it is. And yeah, when you want to see more videos like this, tell me in the comments or hit the subscribe button. If you're new here and you want to learn more about kimono from a professional kimono teacher, please subscribe. I would be so happy to have you here. And I talk to you in my next kimono adventure. Bye!